Hi, I'm Tammy with It's All About the Dog, and I'm here with Noelle Blair, owner of Positive Directions Canine Academy. And we're going to continue our series about collars because I know there's a lot of controversy about this kind of collar, isn't there, Noelle?
Yeah.
The German pinch collar.
Yeah, we decided to do just one segment just on these types of collars because people either love them or hate them, but they have very strong opinions about these collars.
So don't hate us, just listen.
Just listen and then make your own decisions. And I'm
Right.
not saying that whether any of these collars are good or bad. What I'm saying is these are the positives, these are the negatives. You need to make the decision for your dog, what works for you and what works for your dog. A lot of people see these and they think force. They think medieval torture device. Yeah,
They look like a medieval torture device.
they do.
And
they
honestly,
really do.
I had a dog several years ago that was an Ikea mix, and he was very, I don't know what to say.
Reactive.
He was, yeah, so much so that I did end up using a German pinch collar, but you have to use it right if
Correct.
you're going to use one.
Yes. So there's a correct way to put it on the dog, a correct way to take it off of the dog. And I've got a couple different styles here that I wanted to show you guys because there's a lot of different ones out there. You can spend a fortune on these collars. The purpose of the collar, again, just to kind of recap some of the stuff that we've talked about, is control. You don't get control of your dog through the leash. You get control through the collar and through containing or controlling the dog's head.
Right.
Okay. So, you know, there's one way to explain how these work is that it's reminiscent of what the sensation might be like for a puppy when the mother comes over and grabs a hold of the back of the neck. And you'll hear people poo-poo it, and you'll hear people go, oh, that's exactly why it works so well.
Exactly.
I don't know if one's better than the other. All I know is that for some dogs, this is like waving a magic wand.
I can attest to that fact. With George, it truly was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a difference between night and day.
Right, right. And once again, I'm going to say this, I think it should take a minimum amount of force to create a maximum benefit for the dog.
Right.
And one of the things that you're going to find with this is it is a minimum amount of force on your part, especially for those big power dogs. And I'm thinking, you know, some
Like
of
an Akita.
your bully breeds, your Akitas, exactly, Rottweilers, the ones that are just really big and they're built for power. So this is going to give you that leg up. It's kind of, I'm going to say an equalizer.
There you go. And it's not mean. It's not a medieval torture device. If you use it right,
Right, right.
it's a very effective tool to
Yes.
train your dog.
Yes.
And it's only for training.
Only
This
for training.
is not a collar you put on your dog and leave there.
No. In fact, again, going back to some of the things that we've mentioned before, collars were never meant to be left on the dog long term. They're meant to be used for control when the dog is with you out and about, and they're meant as a means to hold identification because your dog doesn't have pockets, they can't get a wallet, okay?
Right.
But again, if you're there with your dog, these are great to wear while they're supervised, but again, if you're not going to be there with the dog, please remove these from your dog.
Yes, it's a training tool.
It's a training tool,
It's
and that's all it
100%
is.
a training tool.
Just like an e-collar or an electric collar, this is another tool.
Well, and is there a point, Noelle, where once you've used this for a while that your dog may not need this collar?
Yes.
It's to get a specific behavior
Yes.
under control,
Yes.
and then you move into something else like a martingale.
Right. So the goal is to have your dog minding as well as possible without having corrective equipment. I think any dog would mindlessly follow food if they are food motivated. But sometimes you don't have a dog who's food motivated or toy motivated, and you've got to be able to control them. And so anyway, this is going to give you that level of control that you need in case you've got a dog who's just dragging you down the street, or you're afraid it's going to knock you over, or God forbid is reactive around other dogs and you feel that you couldn't control them should they decide to make a decision that isn't in their best interest.
Yeah, or anyone else's. And that's kind of where I was at with George when I had to use one with him because, you know, and he did get better, but it took some dedication to getting him to the point where I could use a martingale collar on him.
Right, right. So some of these collars that I want to show you, one of these has a quick release on it, and this is the quick release. Basically what this is meant to do when you pinch this is let go and open the collar up so that if you need to, you can take it off of the dog quickly, okay? Some of these don't have a quick release. In my humble opinion, having a quick release is not a bad thing. It's a good thing to be able to get it off quickly, just in case something were to happen and you needed to get that collar off the dog as soon as possible. For example, this one does not have a quick release. All it is just one solid chain, and the only way to get this off of the dog is to open up the prongs on the collar to get it off. So I'm going to show you how to fit it, and that'll explain why you have to pull the prongs apart here in just a minute. But the bigger the link, you might think, oh, I'm going to need this powerful collar because I've got a big, powerful dog. But this actually does not give you as much control as, believe it or not, one of these little collars. I always pair the little collar with a backup collar just in case something were to happen, so that if something were to break or something were to come loose, or maybe you didn't get the prongs in the holes like you're supposed to, you've got a backup and the dog's not just going to be running free.
So you could control, say, a Mastiff or something with
Absolutely.
this collar.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy? You wouldn't think that you could, but you can.
So it doesn't matter, you know, you're looking at this and thinking you have to get this for your Rottweiler or whatever,
right? But
you don't.
Right.
You can get this one.
Right. So this is called a small or a 14 millimeter. The inches or the gauge on this is about, I'm going to say maybe 1 inch approximately. Looks like about 1 inch. So these are 2 inches. So as you can see, it's going to be a little bit harder to get an exact fit with something like this as opposed to this, especially if you've got a dog who's got an odd size neck like a 13 or a 15.
But these links you can add to.
Yes.
Which is awesome. You can take away or add to as many as you need.
Yep, these collars come in a one size fits all. And if you need to, you can buy extra links or you can remove them to size them correctly for your dog.
And we'll drop a link in the description where you can get collars like this.
Yep. So we're going to get our demo dog Zella up here, and we're going to put one of these collars on her so that you can see.
She's waiting for
Carolyn Hart.
There she goes.
There she is. Okay, so again, going back to those collar talks that we've had in the past, you want to make sure that the collar's above the trachea and right behind this bump on the back of your dog's head. And Zella's got an amazing bump.
So I'm going to take this off, and we're using her today because she has a lot less coat than some of the other dogs we've used.
So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to size this. I'm going to put this right underneath her neck, and I'm going to see if we've got exactly the links that we need to have in here. And it looks like this one's actually fitting pretty close to what I want. We might be able to take a link out, but we don't want to make it too tight. All right. There we go. So as you guys can see, the link or the attachment for the the leash is underneath the dog's neck. Her trachea is right here. So we want to make sure that we've got this above that trachea so we're not putting any pressure, and we don't have any prongs against the soft part of the dog's throat. The prongs go along the back. The reason it's tight is so it doesn't spin and those prongs don't end up over here, because that could definitely cause some problems.
And what you were talking about earlier about the mother dog grabbing the puppy by the back of the neck, that's what this sensation is for.
Right.
Is the teeth need to be there,
right,
to get the desired result.
Yes. And as you can see, she's totally stressed out and very uncomfortable, and she hates every minute of it. You know, it's been my experience that most dogs adapt very, very well to these. You should see when you put this on kind of your dog's going to subdue a little bit. And what I mean by that is they're not going to be quite so crazy and active. And the reason or the purpose or the cause behind that is because it kind of feels like mom's right there watching and you better be on your best behavior. So that's why you might see that. It's not because they're depressed or they hate it. If your dog gets to go out in public with you, they don't care what they've got around their neck.
That's right.
Okay, so that has nothing to do with why they might be acting like they don't like it. Okay, for the most part, I've never seen a dog.
In that way,
most dogs, when you put this on, they're just grateful that they get to go with you, and they actually start to look forward to seeing the collar.
Well, and I've been in some of your classes where we've had a dog that was just completely berserko, and you put one of these on it, and amazingly, all the attention comes like right center, and the person that is trying to get to work with their dog and teach them to sit and teach them to heel, suddenly will go, oh my Lord, I didn't realize how much difference this control makes.
Right.
Once you get past those first few classes and you've trained them, then you don't even probably need that.
Right.
They
And we
get
try
the
to
idea.
transition off of this collar as fast as we can. The purpose is just to kind of start creating good habits and good work ethic in the dog. And then the goal here, again, is to have them minding with a flat buckle collar, a martingale, that type of thing. So we don't want to have to use heavy equipment for long periods of time. The goal is to get them off of these, just like with an electric collar or anything else that you might have to use. You want to get them off of it as fast as you can. So this is just going to give you that leg up to give you the control that you need to work through those issues. And then once you've got those issues solved, then you can move on. Remember, guys, when you're choosing a collar, the collar should fix the issue, not add to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
So if it's adding to your issues, you need to change your collar.
Right.
Okay?
Awesome. Thanks, Noelle. And if you're interested in taking classes from Noelle, there'll be a link in the description below, so you can go onto her website and check out any classes she has available. She's got new classes starting all the time.
All the time.
Every month.
Yes. Thank
So-
you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Have a good day.